The problem with this is that there would be like zillions of these things flying all over the place, and inevitably somebody's not going to service their car properly, and they're going to drop a hubcap, and it's going to guillotine somebody.
All right, well, it's Elon Musk there, tongue-in-cheek, of course, telling his main issue with proposed flying cars. It was all part of a hour-long conversation last night in Los Angeles. So for more on the somewhat bizarre incident here, we're joined by Wall Street Journal reporter, auto and tech reporter here, Tim Higgins. And Tim, so he's talking about flying cars, but in all honesty, he was talking about the new tube system he's building under Los Angeles, or at least experimental tube system. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, if you're a tech entrepreneur in Silicon Valley, you've got two camps here. We've got one that wants to have flying cars, and then you've got the Elon Musk camp that wants to create tunnels that go beneath the earth to relieve traffic congestion. And we've heard him talk about the Hyperloop. This is the idea of a pod that would shoot from LA to San Francisco in a matter of mere minutes. Well, around town travel, he's talking about the Loop. And LA is one of the first places he's proposing that they try to do that. And last night was about trying to convince the community that this is a good idea.
So obviously he doesn't like flying cars because he's building a subterranean mode of transportation. Is that one of the reasons maybe he does not see flying cars as the future, or is he really serious about saying, hey, this is not the future, underground is? I remember, by the way, years ago he pitched this idea, and now it's actually coming to fruition.
He is serious. He doesn't believe that flying cars are really the way of the future, in part because he thinks that they're going to be too loud. Just the sheer physics of propulsion to keep it off the ground are just going to be too loud. Imagine, a helicopter flying over your house every day and landing in your backyard or something like that. That's the scenario he paints. He doesn't think communities are going to like that. Whereas with a tunnel, he says there's plenty of room underground to create essentially a highway of these tubes that can shoot around.
I'm curious, what does he say about the cost? Because I know when we build tunnels, we have one here where a subway runs through. They've built them in other parts of the country. It's a massively expensive project just to build a couple of miles. Has he talked about how this can be done affordably?
Yeah, last night he was adding some details to what the company is trying to do. They've been using conventional boring machines. And what he alluded to is this idea of improving the efficiency, improving the ability to move quicker, really trying to reduce some of that cost. And he envisions a system where it would be basically you hop into one of these tubes in downtown LA and get to LA airport in a matter of minutes for the cost of $1 as a customer.
It sounds like a great idea, obviously, but it still sounds expensive. For example, when you have a boring machine bore under, let's say, a river, those machines are shipped in and they're assembled, and it takes years just to travel. So he's thinking that he could do it more affordably, I suppose.
Well, there's that, and then there's also just the community concern. The members of LA community haven't exactly welcomed it with open arms. There were fans there last night, but we've seen some pushback at places like Culver City City Council, where there were some tough questions asked in recent months.
Yeah, some people think it's just going to be too noisy to get this project going. Tim Higgins with the Wall Street Journal Tech and Auto Reporter, thank you for your insight into this big project, new project by Elon Musk.